guys. If you guys haven't watched chapter 1 and 3, please play 1, 2, 3. Make sure you guys watch chapter 1, 2, 3 first before you guys watch this chapter 4 to 6. And I'm making sweets now, so yeah. So you guys know what am I talking about? I'm talking about Mr. May 916 Volume 1. It's about this. Never mind. Watch chapter 1 to 3, then you'll find out. All that afternoon. Oh my god. All that afternoon, Vivian sat quietly beside me in class. She didn't speak to anyone. Hey, wait, I need to adjust my camera. My hands are sweaty. I don't know why. Once or twice, I caught her looking at me. I gave her a quick smile, but she looked away. Only her hideous breath, hovering in the air between us, told me she was there. I wondered if that red medicine she took gave her such a terrible breath. Something must cause it. Why did I stop? Yeah. When school was finished, she threw her books into her bag and hurried off. I'll see you tomorrow, Vivian, I called, but she made no reply. Kiefer tapped me on the shoulder. You're right, Ranis, he whispered. She's very weird. I was watching her, and I could see her books from where I sit. Wait. Every time Miss Poon told us to write something down, all Vivian did was squiggle a doodle. What if she doesn't know how to write? Wondered Farliana. Maybe vampires don't get taught writing. Well, we know she can read, Kiefer reminded us. She read all those names we wrote on that paper. Okay, hang on. I'm biting sweets, okay, so. Don't know whether you guys can hear me biting or not, so never mind. What are we going to do? I asked them. Shouldn't we tell Miss Poon? Maybe Vivian needs special help or something. Kiefer shrugged. If Vivian is so unfriendly, she won't want any help from us. But maybe that's why she's so unfriendly, I argued. She feels left behind. We can write, but she can't. She must feel so left out. Farliana agreed. It'd be nice to help her catch up. But if she doesn't like us, what can we do? Maybe she just doesn't like schoolwork, Kiefer said. I mean, vampires don't have to pass exams, do they? They just go around biting people on their neck. He thought for a moment, then added, Maybe she won't even come back to school tomorrow. But she did. And every day, Vivian did exactly the same things. She sat beside me without talking. And she just doodled in her books. And she ate her lunch by herself. And whenever I tried to talk to her, she just ignored me. It was very freaky. By the end of the first week, I'd got used to her weird behavior. I ignored her too, and so did everyone else. And when the weekend came, none of us even talked about her. And I think I would have forgotten about her, except for something that happened in her second week at our school. I'd gone home on Monday, loaded down with books. I had so much homework to do, I couldn't believe it. Mom cooked a wonderful dinner with lots of chicken in her special sauce. When I went to my room, I spread out my books and started to study. About 3 hours later, my head was spinning. My eyes were starting to close and I pushed the books away. I went to the window, drew the curtain aside, and looked out. It was something I never do. Usually, I'm too busy working or watching TV. It was a beautiful night. The trees in the little park below were bathed with bright moonlight. Then I looked up into the sky and gasped. The moon was full, and that's when I thought about Vivian. Weren't vampires supposed to come out whenever there's a full moon? Well, I told myself, if she was a vampire, she could do what she liked. I was safely at home with Mom and Dad and my 2 brothers, so she couldn't do anything to hurt me. And that was my first mistake. Chapter 5. Make sure you guys get some snacks while you guys watching this, because it's very creepy. I closed the curtain and got changed for bed. I think I fell asleep the moment my head hit the pillow. It must have been midnight when I heard a voice whisper my name. Rannis. I rolled over in bed. Yes, Mom? I groaned huskily. When I heard my name being called again, I realized it wasn't Mom's voice. It was Vivian. I struggled to sit up. Vivian? I rubbed my eyes. What are you doing here? And suddenly I shivered. It was the night of the full moon, and Vivian the vampire was in my room. But when I flicked on the bedside light, I was alone. Nothing had been disturbed. My homework was still on my desk. My boy band posters was still on the wall. My wardrobe door was closed. Rannis. Wait, hang on. It has to be more creepier. Rannis, I'm going to kill you. Vivian was mocking me and I held my pillow against my chest. Oh my god, it's weird. And my hair is on my nose. So, yeah. Nobody was in my room, yet her voice was so close. Vivian, I said, looking around wild-eyed. I can't see you. I know, I heard her say. That's because I'm in the bathroom. I leapt up, and still clutching the pillow as a shield, I tiptoed along the hall to the bathroom. My hand was trembling as it reached for the doorknob. I pushed the door open slowly and felt for the light switch. The bathroom was empty. Vivian spoke again. Rannis, I'm going to kill you. I spun around, but the hall was empty. My heart was pumping faster, and a cold sweat leathered my brow. I'm in the kitchen, Rannis, she taunted. I took a deep breath. To steady my nerves, I groped my way along the hall. The bare wooden floor was cold beneath my feet, as cold as midnight marble in a graveyard. I wonder if any of you guys remember, but the marble thing, it's mentioned in chapter 1 about Vivian's skin, so maybe go and check it out. Refresh your memory. I peered into the kitchen. Moonlight filtered in through the window. It seemed to be empty, except for a shadow near the fridge. If it was Vivian, I wasn't going to go any closer. I stared at the shadow, waiting for it to move, but it didn't stir. Stare. Whatever. Carefully, I eased around the corner and found the light switch. When I pressed it, the room was as bright as daylight. The shadow had vanished. Vivian? I whispered angrily. Stop playing games! Where are you? I'm at your front door, came the reply. I froze. If I opened the front door and she was waiting outside, it would be so easy for her to kill me, and no one would ever know what had happened. But I had to find her, I told myself. I had to know why she was stalking me. I edged my way across the living room, past all the familiar furniture, past the TV and fish tank, telling myself that I was at home and nothing could happen to me here. I stopped at the front door. My fingers found the chain and unlatched it. All I had to do now was turn the knob, and I would come face to face with Vivian. Or would I? Was I really having a nightmare? Had the sight of the full moon triggered my imagination, and was I trapped in some kind of crazy dream? I had to find out, or I'd go mad. My heart was in my mouth. Cold fear surged in my stomach. A minute passed. Was I a coward? I wondered, my hand pressed against the wooden door, feeling its strength. Then I swallowed my terror. I clutched my pillow even tighter to my chest, turned the knob, and threw open the front door. Nobody was there. The corridor was deserted. The pot plants were all lined up in the usual way. The doormat was on the ground exactly where it always was. And the only movement was a moth circling the light on the wall. I was alone. Or was I? My nose twitched. It was all the warning I needed. I couldn't see her, but I could smell that hideous decay, that terrible breath that drifted in the air. Renis, said Vivian, her voice closer than ever. I'm right behind you. The skin was prickling on my neck. A tremor flew down my spine. I whipped round and screamed and screamed and screamed. Chapter 6. Here we go. I think you must have been sleepwalking. Mom frowned. You have never done anything like this before. Maybe you're studying too hard. Dad yawned. Oh. Maybe you're studying too hard, Dad yawned. Maybe we should put you on a course of vitamins. Pills were Dad's answer to everything. I wanted to ask him if anyone made an anti-vampire pill. My two brothers were standing in their pajamas, watching me from the hall, just like they'd watched their hamster when it threw up in its cage. They always looked so superior. My screams had brought everyone rushing out everyone rushing out into the living room. It was after 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was wide awake. But I heard someone calling my name, I explained for the second time. Mom looked puzzled. And then what happened? I thought I heard a noise behind me, but when I looked around, nobody was there, I told her. So why did you scream? Asked my youngest brother, suspiciously. I shrugged, swallowing my anger. I guess by that time I was just so scared of something. Oh dear, what's that? Mom suddenly asked and pointed to the front of my nightgown. You must have cut yourself. I gasped, dreading what I'd see. Sure enough, when I looked down, there was a little spot of blood. My hand flew to my neck. Mom took a closer look at my skin and laughed. Don't worry, Rannis. Nobody's bitten you. I'm sure she thought she was being funny. And everyone laughed loudly at my expense. But how was she to know the truth? I hadn't told them what had really happened at the front door. How I swung around and found Vivian behind me, blood dripping from her fangs. Sadly, for you guys who really enjoyed this, it's over. Don't worry, there'll be few more videos gonna finish on this. I read this like a million times, and I'm gonna read it again. I already finished reading this, so I'm not repeating it for you guys, so see you guys in my next video, and goodbye.